first came up, there is an island, I don't know where it is, that we can go for holiday. And this is the theme of this holiday. It's one of the luxurious holiday. And it costs you to stay there. It's not really expensive. Just about £7,000 for a week. See this man from Ghana. Are you
talking Naira?
Pounds? What do you mean Naira? Excuse me. What? Hey, mind your language. Just because I'm here, you can't be the guy now. It's not 7,000 Naira. It's a lot of money, man. Wow, boy. Yeah, it's £7,000. £7,000. It's £7,000. Yeah. Very cheap. And I'm looking forward to that kind of holiday, to be honest. Yeah, why not? Why not? You see, one thing, like, I tell people that God bless us. God wants to bless us. God wants to, He's already blessed us. And there are many of you here, many of us here, that £7,000 for a day would be like a £1 for you. Amen. Why not? Why? Excuse me. Look, God will promote us. Amen. God will help us, you know, and then God will lift many of us up. Amen. So, you can, £7,000 is nothing to delegate, isn't it? Mm. £7,000 are not to many people in this country. I'm telling you, they can just £7,000. So, but anyway, step off the boat, and I want you to look what is the first thing that always go in the life of these people. And this morning, step off the boat. I want us to look Exodus chapter 14, 10 to 15. Exodus 14. Exodus 14, 10 to 15. Okay, as Pharaoh approached, the people of Israel looked up and panicked when they saw the Egyptians overtaking them. They cried out to the Lord, and they said to Moses, "Why did you bring us out here to die in the wilderness? Weren't there enough grapes for us in Egypt? What have you done to us? Why did you make us leave Egypt? Didn't we tell you to just what happened while we were still in Egypt? We said, leave us alone. Let us be slaves to the Egyptians. It's better to be a slave in Egypt than a corpse in the wilderness." But Moses told the people, don't be afraid. Hear what that Moses said in 13. Moses told the people, don't be afraid. Just stand still and watch the Lord rest you today. The Egyptian you see today will never be seen again. The Lord himself will fight for you. Just stay calm. Then the Lord said to Moses, why are you crying out? I want to look into the one of the things that always go with the Israelites. The first major problem they go is the issue of fear. Fear. And let me tell you about a story. He said 5-year-old Johnny was in the kitchen as his mother made supper. She asked him to go into the pantry and get her a can of tomato soup. But he didn't want to go in. He didn't want to go in there alone because it is dark. Then his mom told him, "Johnny, when you go there to the dark, Jesus is there with you." Then when this boy look and think, what is the idea? When he got there, then he said, he stood at the door of the pantry and he said, "Jesus, if you are in there, will you hand me that kind of tomato soup, please?" And you see, there are things that, and when you look into the scripture, there are things I don't want to come into conclusion that it is easy for you to tell me to step off the boat when the wind and the water is raging. Now, when you come into the reality and when you come into the things that rage, then you know that there are things that are for me. Like I said, I won't lie to you. I don't have the strong faith to play with lion. And some people I've seen on YouTube, they said if you behave in a certain way, but I don't know I can be a certain way to be in that situation. 1 year ago, we were away on holiday and we were on a boat trip. Yeah, on a boat trip. And we were going, everything was calm. When we were coming back, the boat was doing like this. Then, inside me, Now, as a man, sometimes we don't show our emotion, isn't it? But I knew, okay, I'm here with my wife, with my 2 kids. Now, nobody in Nigeria knew where I am. and I was thinking, oh my God, okay, what's going to happen now if everything just collapse? My wife, she can't swim from here to there. Now, okay, what am I going to take her? And I can see the fear in the side of the guy that was doing the sailing. And he was saying, everything is all right, but I know things are not all right. But inside me, I look like calm, but I'm not. So I moved from the other edge. And I told them, I said, let's move to the middle, you know. At least if you go this way, and some people will fall down and I can be up. And I started calculating a lot of things in my brain. Yeah. I was thinking, okay, if you go that way, then maybe, I think these people, these Olibo people, you know, they will fall down first and I will be upon them. Then, then the pastor was asking, Daddy, why do you want to go to the middle? I said, you don't understand, just move to the middle. So you don't know what is going on. So when you are in the wind, it's easy for you to tell me to step into the water. But it's when you are in the wind that you really know what is wind is, what is blow is. Now, I don't like to talk about fear. Like, you know, that's in the Bible says, do not fear. Do not fear. Do not fear. But I've heard this message a lot. Do not fear. Do not panic. Yeah, I will not panic. But there are things that make people to panic. So that makes people to fear. But when you have known what is saying, and I like to prank people a lot. I like to prank my wife a lot. And she said it several times, dear, stop that. The more she said it, because I think she enjoyed it. So I went to the kitchen when she's in the kitchen, and I said, wow! And she would throw some things up. Till now, she's still doing, I do a lot for them. I said, Daddy, will you stop that? 3 days ago, there's a woman at work. Fortunately, she's my friend. And she was doing something on the computer, and I said, what? And she literally raised all the legs up from the chair, and she fell down. Wow! And I was thinking, oh my God, I hope she doesn't die. And she said, Tolani, when are you going to stop this thing? Stop it! I said, that's okay. I won't do it anymore. Then, 10 minutes later, she was coming from the, I said, what? Will you stop that? I'm going to give you panic attack. But I think they enjoy it. So, you know, there are fears that are good. I'm not prank everybody in this church, but it's one of the things that I want to start now. So I'm giving you a warning. So that you won't sue me. Like, no, you can't sue me anyway. So I like to prank people. It's one of the things that I enjoy. I just like to prank people, you know, like when I say, oh, you know, like I want to see how people react. Yeah, now, when you look on us, natural things, every one of us, there's what we call a good fear. Fear is an emotion. Fear is something that God built in us. So when you hear do not fear, that doesn't say, you know, it looks like when you fear, you are committing a sin. No, fear is built in us, because when you look into the Bible, it said, fear the Lord. Why did it say this? Fear the Lord. Because fear the Lord is not putting you into bondage. Fear the Lord is out of reference for God, isn't it? So when he said, honor your parents, obey your parents, fear them, it's not saying that you have to be panicked when you see them, but it's to honor them. So that's why the word comes. So fear in itself is good, because if you don't have fear inside you, you won't know when the danger is coming, isn't it? So fear is building us to know the kind of danger. You know the woman, especially the woman. You know, like I saw Miss Zion the other day. You know, George was there, and I said, and if you see, I've never seen her running like that. I think she will go like 100 miles an hour. And I said, what's going on? I didn't notice. I said, you know the mother instinct. You know, they got that thing, like, you know, they can sense when the danger is coming. You know, the men, we know there's a danger as well, but sometimes, you know, it's just like, it's cool, but it's not really cool. It's just that we've got emotion. It's just that we don't show it. You got to know that. You don't show, but women is like, And then, I remember, the pain I passed through. I told my wife, everybody pass pain.
Once you check it, very soon.
Okay, we're going to start, by the grace of God, we're going to start the program in April. Let's talk. Before some of us, we're going to have like panel, things that I think, okay, I agree with you. Not fully, but, I told her, I said, you don't have I said, I pass pain as well. I said, when you, I carry the pain. I said, it's really hard, when I was there, she asked me, jump the fence to go and get okra, like this lady finger. This is in a dark environment, the snake, everything. I jumped the fence without getting permission from the owner to go and say, if the snake has bite me, the thorns and everything. It's a pain, isn't it? So, but I understand what you're talking about. It's not, so I carry the pain as well. So, as we carry the pain, and we just carry the pain together. It's just that it's not in a different dimension, isn't it? So, but what I'm saying is, the fear is there. God wants us to fear Him. God wants us to do things. But when you look at the Israelites, now it becomes a pattern in their life, fear. And that is why I'm going this morning. When God says, do not fear, when you look at Peter and the disciples, Jesus went alone to go and pray. And He left them in the boat. Now suddenly the winds come. Then I want you to look at the background of these guys. They are seasonal fishermen. Do you know that? They are people that works with water. They knew everything about the sea. They knew everything that is going on. They knew everything. But you know what? There are things that you can have experience. You can have all this knowledge. You can have all these things. And suddenly, after talking about the candle course this morning, then you go into a boat. And suddenly, there will be winds. There will be turmoil. There will be storm. And now you don't know how to handle that situation again. But that is okay. But the fear we're talking this morning is the fear that has turned the Israelites and is becoming like a bondage for them. Now, the first thing I want to establish this morning to you is fear is a spirit. Do you know that fear is a spirit? Now, let me show you something. Let's look at the 2 Timothy 1:7. Please read it. Fear is a spirit. That's the one I want to talk this morning. Fear is a spirit. I don't want to talk about it. There's a lot of things that fear. 2 Timothy 1:7. What does it say? Timothy 1:7. What does it?
God didn't give us a spirit that is timid.
Timid, yeah?
But one that's powerful.
That one, huh?
Loving and self-control.
Now, timid. Another question there. 1:7. God does not give us the spirit of timid, yeah?
For God did not give us a spirit of timidity,
Yeah?
but a spirit of power,
Mhm.
of love,
Mhm.
and of self-discipline.
It's another question that is just fear. Timidity. Why don't we get the same question?
But God has not given us the spirit of fear,
God has not given us spirit of fear,
but of power
but of power
and of love.
and of love.
Now the sound.
So you see that fear is a spirit. Now, you see the Israelites, the reason why they go there, because I sometimes, if you want to know the Bible, somebody asked me, how do you know, how do you know this thing? I was explaining to her, I said, okay, once you want to read the scripture, don't read the scripture just literally. All you got to do, put yourself into that story. Then you will see a lot of things that, okay, every time I want to bring things out, I put myself into that story. How could people have this kind of fear inside them? And we're not talking of fear of God now. Do you know when they go to the Red Sea, that is normal because somebody is pursuing you. You got to have the fear. No, that's the fact. If somebody is normal, but I don't want to hear the message. Do not fear. Why would you not fear? You saw the Egyptian with guns and everything. You saw the water at your front. I'm going to fear. I'm going. But God. Well, this is the fact. This is the truth there. At that stage, God did not condemn them. God did not judge them. God didn't judge them because He knew that we are going to fear. When you look into the scriptures very well, every time that the angel comes to anybody, and what's the first thing that He will say to them? Do not fear. Do not fear. Even when He came to Mary, He said, "Do not what? Do not fear. Because if you're sitting there in your house and somebody appear by the wall, you're going to fear. No matter how come you are, I got the spirit of God. Yes, I don't have the spirit of devil as well. But with God, that thing that but it becomes a problem when it becomes a pattern. And what it becomes a pattern in the life of Israelites is because the reason why they came there to that level is because they've been under servitude, they've been under slavery for so many years. So they've grown under fear. Every morning then when they wake up is fear. Fear of what you are going to use to build the house. Fear how you're going to survive for that day. They will beat them. After they build the house, they will say, you are not working enough. They'll beat them again, give them the straw. Then she will say, oh, so how do we put it into our this day, present day today? Like he was sharing with us today, isn't it? In the discipleship. After he finished his day job, then the boss thing, you know what? If you can finish that in 4 hours, then I should add to what? Add to your labor. It's just a different thing. There's a lot of people, slavery is coming in the modern world. But that's not how good. So the Israelites are used to the kind of fear. So they live in fear of relationship. They have the fear of leadership. They have the fear because, when somebody is coming to you and said, tomorrow I'm going to come to you, but you know that when he comes to you, you don't know what you can expect from him. So there's a fear. So many of us, we don't get to a stage in one day. There are things that are becoming a mental block over the years that we build. And when we build it, it becomes, then we have the fear. Fear, like, okay, there are people, like some women, they said, you know what, I can't go into a relationship with, I said, why? Because I fear men. All men are the same. All men. And you see some women, some men say, why they say, women. It's not Ellen. No, I can't. Because if you look behind the statement, when you look somebody speaking to you, and what he say will tell you what kind of person he is, whether you fear or not. Because nothing comes to a place just like that. What can be a fear to you might not be a fear to me. But there are things that are becoming a mental block. So one of the things that are becoming a mental block to the Israelite is a fear of the leadership, fear of the authority, fear, I'm going to survive. And that's why you see all their life, when they cross the Red Sea, even when they cross the Red Sea, the Bible says, why did you bring us in? After crossing the Red Sea, they saw the water, God turned the water to them. They still have this fear inside them because they can't take away the mental picture of Pharaoh. God has delivered them, but they can't do what? They can't take that, they can't shake that away. They got that fear. Some people are in relationship now, they still have the fear of what their former boyfriend has done to them. And they carry that into a relationship. And when that relationship is like, they can sing, they can praise God, but right inside there's that thing, fear of what's going to happen to me. What's going to happen to me? And now, when you relate it, because when you see in the Old Testament, we saw one face, and when we look at the word, we write it down. Jesus was walking on the sea, and these people were terrified. Now there's a water raging. Jesus was walking on the sea, and he said, you Jesus, he said he looked like a ghost. When you have a fear, and fear has become your mental block, you don't see God anymore. It's very difficult to see God when fear become your mental block. There are fear that you know that when you wake up in the morning, if you know that what you fear you got is a spirit, this is how to test it. If the fear you got every day, that you know that when you wake up, you can't shake it away, it's just there permanently, then that's a problem. Now, I read an article yesterday, it's actually the Washion that told me, and I said there's something they call cognitive, oh my God, medical people, cognitive something like, but basically what they were saying is, when you go for this medical thing, they will train you, your mind,
Cognitive thinking.
Cognitive, huh?
Cognitive thinking.
Cognitive, no, it's not thinking. Yeah. Anyway, it's like thinking. Anyway, yeah, it's something like that. So what they do at hospital now is they will train your mind for your fear, for you to think not what you are thinking. What is new there? It's in the Bible. So the Israelites are used to that kind of fear. And when you look at yourself this morning, as we're going to progress throughout this year, I want to ask yourself this one question. What is that thing that has becoming a spirit, fear, that has becoming owed you? Like, you know what? Every time you want to move, you can do every other thing, but this thing is still there, owing you ransom. Sometimes fear of failure, fear of, you know what, should I step onto the water? But when you look on the whole story, do you know that it's only Peter that had got the courage to do what? To step. It's only Peter that says, Jesus, if it is you, bid me to do what? To come. What happened to the other disciples? They didn't do anything. Because you know, when fear paralyzes you, when you've got that thing that is there, better block, like the Israelites. So that's why I said that you've got to know their history. You've got to know where they are coming from. You know, when you see so many people are violent, people are did this, nobody can become violent in a day. People react violent because of as a result of being subject to a lot of hardship, a lot of things. So when they go into an area, it automatically triggers in their mind that I will not allow that situation to happen to me again. So it becomes a mental block in them. So the Israelites, they go that because they don't have, though they saw the sea being divided, but there's a fear inside them. Maybe. And behind every fear, there's this word we call if. If I step into the water, what? If I step out with you, what's going to happen? If I take the step to say, you know, today I need to make this step, what's going to happen? So behind every fear, there's if. And I want to ask yourself this morning, what is that if that always makes you to buy down? You know, I've distinguished between the two fears. There are fear that is normal. But when you wake up every morning, when something becomes a pattern in your life, then you got to look that this is not good. I need to check it. Then how do I conquer that kind of spirit? Where we read, it said we conquer fear in what? Let's read that book, 2 Timothy 1:7 again. How do I conquer that kind of spirit? Huh? We don't see it again. 2 Timothy 1:7.
For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind.
God has not given us a spirit of what? But of what?
Power.
So when you hear the word but, what the word but means? It's a conjunction. Okay, yeah, it's a fear, but there's a solution. But yeah, it's fear, but but you can do what? You can overcome it. So the difference between the fear that grips you, that makes you to tie you down every day, is when you stand up. It's not, people can say, a lot of things. If you go, go to do this, but you got to make up your mind and say, you know what? When it comes, you got to stand up and rebuke. You got to step out of your boat. But sometimes it's not just one day. Sometimes it could be a process. Things that have been there for 40 years. I look with the Israelites. If you've been battered, Shem was asking me, but why some people, she said something, she said, why people behave this way? And I said that if you grow up with a system for 40 years, let's forget the Israelites. If I've used to something in my life for 30 years, do you think it is easy to change in a day? No. But it's easy in the church to say, you know, when you become born again, everything what? Everything changed. Oh, the old things has passed away. Everything becoming new. I said, go and read your scriptures. Sanctification is a process. There are some you need, but you don't. But and I'm going to show you there. You know, when they got there, what did God say to them? What did God say to Moses? Why are you crying to me? What did he say? He said, move forward. So when God is saying, stand still, what he was saying that he wants you to identify the problem, but he doesn't want you to stay on that problem. Or he wants you to do what? Move forward. That's what he said. Why are you crying to me? Do what? Move forward. So move forward means you go on to say, you know what? Okay, this is the pain I've been carrying. This is the things I got in my life. This is the disappointment I've had in my life. I need to do what? I need to do what? Move forward. I don't have to stay in the boat with these people. You know, sometimes you can stay in the boat with people that God fears. You know, like your surroundings can be people that are panicking. You know, I can't, you know, we can't do this. But you got to do what? Step out of the boat. You got to step out of the boat. You got to come out of that system. You got to come out of what people are saying. There's a lot of things that are becoming a mental block for us because of the culture, because of where we came from, because of the experience with God. If your father has been a very dominant and very someone that doesn't love, then you have the fear that has been encompassed you. So when you come into any relationship, when you see some men, it's like, no, it's not going to happen again. And it can happen to anybody. I've shared this before. Like my wife, when we got married, she had this thing. She loves me. She's a very calm person. She's done everything. But one day, I had to challenge her. I said, you know what? There's a problem of trust. And I saw her, and she cried. I said, we can't move forward in this relationship without what? Without this trust. You got to break. And we knew where it comes from. So the problem is, where are the fear that is holding you in the boat? Where does it come from? And it's not just about the decision you want to make. There are people here, you want to make a decision, you want to do something, but people around you say, you know what? Why? Why do you want to do it? Why do you want to take that step now? Why do you want to make that decision now? Because you know these days it doesn't work. It doesn't really work. This economy won now. Do you know that the airline was in crisis when Branson came into the market? It was. It was. And he said in his book, I don't know whether you read biography, he said, 2 of my best friends told me, you are wasting your time. Why do you want to do this? Why do you want to do that? But he came out of the boat to do what? To face his fear. No matter what is happening to you right now, this year, we said it's a year of what? Fulfillment. But to get fulfilled, you've got to conquer that generation fear that is holding you back. I don't know what, the Israelite is a mirror image of our life. You don't have to transfer something from past life into what you are having now. You've got to make up your mind and say, okay, past is what? It's past. But I want to use the past to do what? To develop myself for the present. It could be. Let's say physical thing. It could be a physical. It could be a fear of heights. Fear of lions. Okay, from this morning, I don't fear lions anymore. I know there won't be any lion in England anyway, so yeah, I can preach that. So yeah, I don't fear lions. Yeah. But when I get to South Africa, it could be any fear. It could be any fear. But again, fear of God does not make us stupid. Don't fear. Don't fear. Don't fear. It's 30 miles an hour on the road, and you are going 70 miles an hour, and you know God is with me inside this car. No. That's not what we're talking about. It's not foolishness. That's not what we're talking about. It's about the fear that has been there for ages. When you wake up, that this cognitive we're talking about, they say that insomnia. Is that when you can't sleep?
Insomnia.
It's insomnia.
Yeah.
So it's not somania.
No, it's just something.
Insomnia.
Yeah, that's what I want to say. Insomnia. Yeah. Insomnia. Yeah. Is that when you can't sleep? Isn't it? Yeah. Now, when they go to doctor, now they give them this cognitive thing, but the doctors speak to them and say, well, it can take you away from it, but it doesn't really heal the root. So the difference between that and God is this. When Jesus asks you to step onto the water, he never leave you. He go to the root of the problem. He never leave you. He lead to the root of the problem. He solve the problem. One of the fear. Some people have fear of the fatherhood. How I'm going to do this, fear. Some people is finances. Some people is the job. Some people can think now of 20 years radius. And the reason why they're thinking is they can't sleep. Do you know how many Christians, forget about unbelievers, do you know how many Christians in this country that are depending on drug every night to sleep? I can't sleep. Why? I just don't know. And when you start saying, oh God, I speak Yoruba now. Anything that makes you every day, or every 2 weeks, or every 1 week, that becoming like, then you need to ask God to step into your situation. I don't bring things out of blue, but I know that God wants us to move forward. And I told you before that I panic a lot in the early years of my life. I panic a lot. I think of, I process things. How it's going to work, how it's not going to work. So when you say something to me, I will process it. I will give 100 reasons that it will never work. I know 100 reasons, but it will not. And my friend said, "But how do you know all this?" I said, And then I'll give an example. When that guy, when he go, and do you know where my fear came from? My fear came from my mom. Because anytime I want to take a step, you don't have TV. The 7 o'clock, the Nigerian news, 7 o'clock. And he said, Taju. I saw Taju on TV. I saw Taju on TV. Taju. And then I saw Taju on TV. Then I said, my mom said, I know again, it's not Taju. It's not Taju. And I said, Taju, did you go to, I said, me? Where is boxing? Where? So my mom says, I can't mistake this boy. It's Taju. Okay, 9 o'clock. And I was praying, oh God, I become Christian, I become Muslim. God allowed this woman not to, you can't go to her to, I can't bribe, I don't have that knowledge. 9 o'clock, he said, what are you? 9 o'clock, come. So she came to the news. 9 o'clock, and they will repeat the same thing, they say, NTA, and I said, and she started crying, Taju, you know I'm the only one. Why did you do this to me, Taju? You lie. And I said, I'm dead today. And my mom, she doesn't know, there's no talking. And she allowed me to say. And she hold me by my neck. You know, this plate, you know, what's that? Don't kill him. And then she beat me, and I was bleeding, and she was crying and everything. And then, so after, then when she beat me, then she would say, sorry, my husband. You know why I'm beating you? I don't want you to damage yourself. This boxing, I've seen somebody, you know, as they were kicking, like they kicked his stomach, and the intestine just come out. And when the intestine come out, the blood just gush out. And I said, you know, whatever they feed it to me, I receive it like, but it's becoming a mental block to me. It's becoming, you know, he said, the intestine will come out. You know, then she said to me, why don't you do running? I think you are good enough to run, isn't it? I said, okay, I will start running. Then I went for the running. Then one day, he said, when you came back, you're becoming lean these days. Your mouth. And then she would tell me like this. You put it under like this. No much blood. Hey, God, you know I'm the only one. No running. Now, football. Now, I know why she's doing that. Because she's what I would call a single mom. She wants to protect me. She doesn't want to do it. But in doing that, she's already built that fear inside me. So when I grew up, and I want to, even my mom doesn't want me to be 18 years, stay at home. And when you get married, you go. You build fear and become a mental block. And when you separate, many of us, that's what happens. You carry that fear into the present. You carry it, whether you like it or not, but you might not admit, you carry it and it becomes something, it becomes part of you, and it becomes you live with. So I carry that fear. So that is why many years it's very hard for me. Then I will look for people to ratify my decision. And I'll be asking them, and then, what do you think? What do you think? But, you know, I have to go out of the boat. I have to go out of the boat to say, you know what? Why should I should be what God has designed me to be? Fear should not paralyze me. And when my kids were growing up, and that is why I passed the call to say, you know what? There's what we call co-independence and independence. You got to make a decision on your own. Some men, they can't make decisions. Some men, the men who are looking at me, I'm not talking to anybody. It's like this comment and say it's a joke. No, it's not. Some men can't make decisions. They have to go to their mama. Even when they are 45 years old, they got to go to their friend. Mommy, what should I do? Huh? You agree? Some women, they have to go to their auntie to get information about their home. Fear that has enveloped you. Not around of this morning. What are those fears that are becoming a spirit? You know, I say it's a spirit. That's what I'm talking about this morning. Fear is a spirit. I'm not talking about natural fear that comes when somebody pranks you, which I will continue to start to do now. I'm not talking about that, but fear that, you know, every time when you wake up, fear of, I can't pass my exam. I panic when I get to the exam hall. I panic. Is it going to work again? When you change, you know, when you make a movement, another step of life, you think, okay, because I failed before.
Yeah.